evening's live, I would like to go over a quick overview of the areas we're going to touch and just the information that you can expect to get during this live, and the reason why you might want to stick around longer than just when we go through the XRP chart. But we've got a lot to talk about as we have the election coming up tomorrow. So we had a nice little dump, but is there going to be a further dump before the pump? Or are we going to find ourselves having a little bit of a surge going into the election? We'll take a look at that. We'll be able to take a deeper look today inside the Bitcoin Heat liquidation map. You might have seen it during the updates when I do it, but I can only spend a couple minutes at a time on it. But during the live, we can go through the most likely zones in a more detailed way. Kryptonian, UK, Phil, and Mo, welcome into the three of you, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 6 months with the XRP Predictor. JW, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years now with the XRP 589 Moon badge. It's amazing to see you moving on to that badge. Unbelievable show of support there. Thank you so much, JW. Trading with J-Ride, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 3 months with the XRP Diamond. Over 3 years, I mean, with the XRP Diamond Hands badge. Wow, 3 years. That's unbelievable support. Jason and XRP Goat, thank you both for being in Tom's Army for your second month with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News emoji badge. Chris, welcome in. George, good evening, and thanks for continuing in Tom's Army for over 3 months now with the XRP Meteor. Means a lot to me. Jason, God bless you as well, as he says God bless everybody in the audience, as we don't want to forget to give thanks to our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. The Gatmen, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon badge. There are lots of Bobs out there, Tom. There sure are. There sure are. Jorge, thanks for being a very trusted mod and being in Tom's Army for over, what was that, your second month now? Is that what that said? I gotta see that again. I believe it was. But, a lot to go over here. Excuse me, my voice, I just can't seem to clear it. Jorge, yeah, second month in Tom's Army. Excellent with the Dusty House Crypto News. And Messi, welcome in as well. So we'll go through the XRP technicals. We'll look at Bitcoin's technicals. And then we'll get into this with what the Ripple CEO said about how the SEC's lost its battle on crypto amid the third company found for XRP Exchange Traded Fund. We know that's 20. We already know who's doing it, but they're pushing a little bit. So we'll see what that noise is about. We'll look at the XRP open interest, go through the funding rates, we'll go through the liquidation long and short ratio so we can get a better idea of where it looks like we're heading. The Bitcoin Heat liquidation map is going to be a big thing we need to look at. And we're not just going to look at the short term. We're going to look at it in the longer term. We came through some liquidation zones today again. So we'll just look at this in a way where we'll be able to see if we're going to come up higher, if we're going to come lower. But it's going to be a very, very nice way that we can look at this. And then we'll obviously look at the crypto fear. Well, it's not obvious, but we'll look at the crypto fear and greed index as we go along this. So there's going to be a lot of information. I'll make sure to try to answer questions the best I can. I might get lost in talking because I usually do as I get from one thing to the next to the next. And I hopefully will have a great 60 minutes here together. And the way I do this is I'm just sick and tired of all the hate in the world. So I'm doing this from a standpoint of love. Me and Julie talk about this all the time. There's too much hate, and she's taught me a valuable lesson. And like, you can kill a lot of it with love, kindness, you know, and compassion. You know, like the love part of it, though. So we do it with love. The darkness is needed, though, because it shows the true light, and you need the light to extinguish the darkness. So we're not the victim here. We don't play the victim here, and we never have been one. So we're the winners. Everybody here is a winner. So we need all the information from a charting and news perspective so that we can make an educated and informed decision. So that we can make the proper, you know, we can properly sit and we can properly understand where the buying is or what is even going to come next if we hold a position. So I think that's a very valuable thing. So make sure to hit that like button as I do this very short intro. I would greatly appreciate it. The like button, whether you're following my channel or not, it'll allow it to pop up in the news feed because it'll be recommended by YouTube. That's it. And everybody's been doing a fantastic job on the updates. We've hit 1,700 views on the morning update the last 2 days, and today I think it's up to 1,200 views now. and it was just this morning. So I'm very happy to see that, and I appreciate everybody taking the extra mile. The ones that do hit that like button, it really does help. So good evening. 6:08 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, November 4th, 2024. I'm XRP Future Millionaire, and I reside in the great state of Michigan. Meow, welcome in, or Meave. It has been a while. I'm glad to see you back here. It's a good day to be back here. I'll be honest. Because even if we know, or even if we understand that there could be a liquidation coming, there is the understanding that we would have to watch to see if we could bounce out, like I put in the update this morning. We have one chance here to push out. We haven't done it. We haven't got past these zones, and in fact, we kind of caved. But that doesn't mean we can't going into the election. Tomorrow is going to be an extremely volatile day. So we're going to go over a lot of things. We're going to touch a lot of bases here. Tanya, thank you so much for being here as well, love, and being in Tom's Army for over 2 years now with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. It's simply incredible the amount of time some of you have been in Tom's Army. It just means a lot to me. Makes it all worth the while. So, XRP, let's start with the charts. We'll see exactly what we're looking at. And the problem is every time we get a little bit of steam, we have a drop, and then we basically just come back out. And every time we get over the 20-day here in the shorter time frames, which is what we're going to have to hold eventually, we get rejected. Here we got rejected by the 200-day. If we start bringing this back into the longer time frames, it's just small. No. Even if you wanted to call this a reversal, I believe that's still, let's see. It's closer. It's closer, but it still looks bearish, kind of. There's no volume. We're not getting a bunch of bounce back volume. It's so tough with XRP right now because we know we're Bitcoin. It's got that big liquidation zone, and whether or not it goes down there right now or not, there's zero chance that it's not going to hit there at some point. It's just in my long time of doing this now, even doing this every day for 3.5 years plus since March of 2021, you see it. They don't leave liquidation. They don't leave it. So as we go through this, we start to form a fundamental understanding of where XRP might wind out or find itself falling to if Bitcoin does go for that liquidation. We've heard Michael Saylor talk not too long ago, and they're literally talking about leveraging, and it's like $62 billion. And that's like a crazy amount. It starts with 62 million, but something like 62 million, but it ends up being almost the equivalent in billions that they're trying to get up to. And they're basically leveraging micro strategies. And they're diluting the shares because now they're putting more into the market so they can raise I believe it's 62 million they're trying to raise. So they're trying to have a big purchase of Bitcoin as well. So there's a lot of things that are, it's a little bit dicey here. But XRP right now, we came back up. We got rejected by the pattern formation. That was our one way, and it's not over yet because theoretically we can come back up. But we need to get on top of that 51.2 cent mark. That has been a big problem here for not just today, but ever since it broke this down over the weekend. And we really do need to get back within there. And let's just say we did get back up there. We broke the 52.8 cent mark. The big problem we have here is we've fallen below a very key level. We're trying to get back up within here. And even if we do, well, that's excellent. But even if we do, well, actually, I guess we haven't, on this chart, we're still within. But if we were to, even if we broke that, what was that, 52.8 over the top, first we'd have to hold 51.2. Then if you got over 52.8, theoretically, we are still stuck inside of this pattern formation. Short-term, long-term, whether you're calling 40.4, you want 33.6, it's up to you. But that's technically what we're stuck in right now. True, welcome in, my friend. It's good to see you in the audience. So good to see you in the audience. So, if we're looking at this objectively, we've had a healthy consolidation. We know we've got this W reversal. That pivot point to me is right around the first layer is 48.5. But I'm actually going to take this out of here because honestly, It doesn't matter, because if we did start coming down, we can't help this. We have no control over this. The market's already dictating this. If it does come down, it's going to have to come down to this 47. It's if it comes all the way down here. Because this is the 2018 resistance as support. And if it came down here before, well, this is like leading into the election. What if we come down here and then we can bounce off? Or coming into the election, what if we do have a reversal here? The daily is leaving a lot to be desired. And the cool thing is now, because the clocks move back in the USA, when I do my lives at 6, it leads right into the daily close. So I'll be here until the daily close. So we'll be here, and you'll basically see the timer on the side. As long as it's still going before the daily close, I will be here. And then once the daily close happens, you know, got things to do. Not that I don't want to stay. Yes, 3 years next time, and you'll soon have that XRP Diamond Hands badge. The most coveted badge, as it turns out. Until the 4-year badge comes out. You know, soon somebody will be ready for the 4-year, and then it'll let me do it. But yeah, that's the biggest. Those are the obstacles I see with XRP. And we're still very much within a cup and handle. So that cup and handle suggests down to 41.5 cents, which is pretty on point, because if we broke this 47 cents, it'd bring us down to 42 cents. And that's actually, and I can't make this up. And I wish I could, but I can't. No, I don't even wish. I want this drop tap more than anybody, even though I hold XRP. Because I want to go back into the accumulation. God knows it forced me to. The only thing I can even hold, I had bought VELO for a short time, and then it busted the whole formation. So now I'm sitting on the $50 a week buying it, but the majority's gone because it busted the formation, and now it fell today like 13% or whatever, 10%. It's given us an amazing opportunity coming up here across the market. I think that's front running what's probably coming. So bear flag, broke out of the rising channel, then it came down, formed a bearish rising. Kind of like a rising. It was just a bearish formation, broke out, back testing it, and the technical target out of this broken bear flag, if it played out true, is down at 42 cents. So I'm always looking at that. I would prefer for it to touch 42 and get this over with, if this is what it wants to do, sooner rather than later. Sooner. Casper. Sorry, I had to wipe that. Casper, it's tough. It's tough. With the fact that a lot of the, you know, it's going to be tough to push a lot of collateral with some of retail, just because of some of the stuff that came out with them kind of, you know, taking some of the large portions of money and kind of hiatusing it out of town. But remember, when I sold it at 2.8 cents before any of this started happening, we had a nice little run. And the reason I sold it was on the charts, it didn't make sense. It should have had breakouts. And when the technicals are adding up to something and it doesn't play out, you know something's got to be going on. Some kind of manipulation farther than we can see. So, Casper has a new Telegram bot. Earn Casper. Well, you know, I don't know what to say about that. But all I'm saying is be careful until the time. Like, I had a target for Casper just very shortly since somebody messed it up. Or, messed it up. Somebody brought it up. It's at 006. Does anybody remember what my buy target was for Casper when I sold? And a lot of people were like, how is that? I'm like, I don't know, but the charts are telling me 003470 was the buy. That was the, hey, if it gets down there, that's where the real buy is. And I know a lot of people here heard it. Yep. See, Jorge said it, 003. And when I did that, that's after I sold at 2.8, because it really should have broke out here. It back tested here. And when it didn't move out of here, that was a big red flag. And I remember this. This was a few months ago, 3-4 months ago. And I had sold, some of us had sold after we bought in 23, after a rally up, and then we waited to buy back. And I remember we hit the downtrending slope. I waited till it hit this back test. And when it failed to break this, I sold it at 2.8 because it came up initially to almost 3.1. And then it's like something's not right there. And then I measured it out. And the first area to buy would have been somewhere around 7.7, depending on how depending on how it looked. But it didn't look good, and I told everybody I wasn't buying it at 007 when it came down because it didn't look right. Now we got to look at it again at 003, and it'll be a lot more desirable there. And yeah, that's another 55%. Just like VELO, I attempted to get in initially, and then it busted the entire formation, and now it's back to the $50 a week, but the lump sum is gone. Once it busted this W, it's back to the just $50 a week, and the grand scale has to be sold. And I was very transparent with that. And then it's just buy it $50 a week to the bottom. And then what it'll be like 700-800. And then I don't know. Depends how much I decide to do. But the goal is to get 100,000 tokens when it gets down there. So pay attention to that. I'm only saying that because I'm going to forget, because I have so much to talk about today. So much. And if you're interested on BITUNIX, I tested out their copy trading. It is phenomenal. I'm not ready to do it yet, but the fee was 86 cents. There were 7 people following, and yes, you all had to incur a haul of $5 loss as I tested it, but you had to incur it with me, so welcome to the team. But it was an 89-cent fee for me, and it said the total fee for everybody when I first made the position was $6 was the PNL, minus $6, and then we all lost about $5. So, or anybody who was in it, but there's only 7 people. So if you're wondering how BITUNIX is on the futures, it's identical with copy trading as it in the future. I couldn't believe it. I just felt so relieved and so happy because they stand by their principles. But that's not the point. Forget that. The point is, if you want to buy Algo, IOTA, IOTX with me when I do my trading, I'm doing it on BITUNIX. That's in the video description below. It's also on my homepage. There's a link there so you can click on it, and then you can click XRP Future Millionaire and copy trading if you're interested. Nothing's happening yet. My next big trade I want to make is when Bitcoin hits that liquidity zone and have a trade riding back up, or it'll be on XRP when it hits its liquidity zone, and I'm targeting first zone 47.7. But ultimately, if I could get it down to 42, I'd be more than willing to take out a leverage trade there. So pay attention to that. If you want to join me on Motivated Mondays, Winning Wednesdays, and FOMO Fridays, Thursdays are up for debates. Tuesdays are up for debates. We have Technical Tuesdays, which I really like because it fits the program. And then on HOTCOIN, you're also going to need, because we're buying VELO, SHX, and I'm going to unleash a few different ecosystems once the time's right, so you'll know a further installment of what I want. But right now, you know, there's a few that I want on there. I want 100,000 VELO, at least 100,000 SHX, which will be easier because it's only at 0.003 whatever right now. So I got a big, big high stakes here when it comes down. So I'm very prepared. Even my precious metals, I'm fully liquidated. B2 Gold, as you know, it's had a sell signal at $3.38. I had it up here for everybody. We had a sell signal on Fortuna Silver Mines around $5 and, was it 27 cents? And then on First Majestic, we had a sell signal. We didn't listen to the first one at 772, which is where I was supposed to sell it. So I sold at 761, so I put down the sell there. First target for the buy was $6.88, and look how close we are. And some would say, why would you sell if you love this stuff? Well, because I'm not rich, and the only way to increase my holdings is to do it suavely. And now it's an 8% drop right now from where it was at where I sold, so I can buy 8% more. And just like here, I can buy a certain percentage more. And B2 Gold, I just did it because I thought I could buy more after. There's no right or wrong answer. I'm not telling everybody to do this. But these are 8.8%, and B2 Gold's only a few percent. So I'm watching this very carefully because I know, I think all of you know, once this next drop happens, it's going to be a big deal. I think we're going to find a spot where we're going to have a big slingshot. The Bollinger Bands are tighter than they've ever been in the XRP history. As far as DGB goes, I'm going to be buying it probably. I've got to decide where I'm going to buy it, honestly. I've been trying to figure it out, testing a few different exchanges. I think I've found one. I'll let you know when I do. But my targeted buy is around 00228. So, 00228. And that's, for me, very important. That's a very important one for me. They're migrating right now for the hybrid blockchain December 20th. Wait a minute. I need to reread that. But so there's a lot of stuff going on leading into the election. Something that'll help us is we'll take a look at the heat signature maps, and we'll look at where some of the smart money's moving around. We got AMP at 0.003. Oh yeah, AMP is another one that we'll be buying as well. That, I'm not sure if I'm going to buy it on BITUNIX or HOTCOIN. I'm still not sure. But I'm very excited about this next chapter. Just stay positive and keep your goals in front of you. Remember, The consistency will breed the response. The more consistent we can be together, the more of the proper response we'll have, because we're seeing this day after day. See, some people, and there's nothing wrong with this, because I can understand this. Some people think it's too much and it's too hard to follow day after day, which I completely understand. But as an investor, if you're looking for more than a swing trade, a lot of people say, well, you don't need to look at it every day unless you're a swing trader or a leverage trader. I don't think that's true. I think you have to watch it every single day. You don't have to do it 24/7 like I do. But I believe you have to watch it every day, or at least see somebody you trust that watches it to a finite level, so that you know when these like these little liquidity sweeps are like, where the exact zones are that should be bought. You know, we need to know this. Yes, every 4 hours, like Jorge said. I think that's cool. I think that there's nothing wrong with that. Papo, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for your second month with the Dusty's Outhouse Crypto News. Excellent. Excellent seeing the support for some of you in multi-months. I love seeing it. Love seeing it. Angel, welcome in, my friend. Britt, no, I didn't sell silver. My mining stocks. I would never sell my gold or silver. No, I do this little thing with the mining stocks. When I feel like they've hit a local top, I'll try to get that 8 to 10% correction, and then I'll buy it. And then if it goes down more, I don't care, because I've already got 8 to 10% more, and I've already wrote it up. But no, I did not sell my silver. I did not sell my silver, Britt. That will never happen. That has bigger plans. Zoli, Tom looking at WTK. Interesting. I don't know. I don't even know what WTK is, I don't think. But maybe as we go. I've got a lot to talk about. Bitcoin's at 67,879. Down 1.31%. It's down 900 points on the day, or $900, and it's got a firm liquidity zone that it's trying to sweep. But remember, the one way to stop this sweep and go to the upper zones, because, you know, there's 400 and 500 million in several spots. The one way to stop this would be to get and hold 67,735 as we're on this megaphone pattern. Now, you see what we're developing here in the 30-minute. That looks like a little W reversal there, and that looks like a Gartley reversal. WadsPay token. Nobody says telling you need to watch Tom's videos on silver. Absolutely. Those are epic. Those are epic. Look at some of the prices too at some point. Some of them were higher in those videos. If you go back years ago, we were buying it at 16, 17. And gold in those videos, I think it was at like 18, 1900 if I'm not mistaken. But in the earlier ones, we're at 1600. I don't even know if I made videos on those ones. As far as the silver stacking videos, I believe those were just done in regular updates. But anyhow, 67,735 is that money shot for Bitcoin. And I can see a very real way that Bitcoin can have a rally here for the election and not have to sweep that liquidity. I can see a way. Like, we've got this cup and handle. We've got this megaphone. And my understanding was, if it came through for that liquidity sweep, it would create something like this. I don't think it's going to be to beat Bitcoin down to 47. I think it's quite the opposite. Now, if Kamala gets elected and, you know, they might fear a little bit more. I don't think it was meant to do this necessarily. I think it could have been a case where it was going to do a V shape. But, you know, the speculation is, oh, if Kamala gets in, crypto is going to go down. If Trump goes in, it's going to go up. I think it's already predetermined what's going to happen with crypto. And I don't think it has as much to do with the presidential election as it has to do with this next rate cut that's coming up. Anybody realize what's sneaking up on us that nobody's talking about? Does anybody in my audience know when the next rate cut is at by chance? And I will type it in on Google so you know I'm not screwing around here. But this is it. This is when it comes to the rate cut. But this is the cup and handle. And we've got many targets. The first one was met, which retested all-time highs at 73,697. If you sweep this liquidity before getting further into discovery, it holds very nicely for a very big push. Louisville, welcome in, and thanks for being in Tom's Army for over 2 years with the XRP 589 Moon Badge. I love it. Love it. Papa's on the money. This week, right after the election, absolutely. That's the cravata here. So my precious metals and stuff, I wanted this to dump. And the only reason why, and I talked about a couple weeks ago, or last week when I did it, or why I was doing it, and how it's going to be a short-term not in because I can't do it for more than a week or two. But I did it because it does this every time. This uptrend, boom. Whoops. Watch this uptrend, ladies and gentlemen. And I think it's pretty obvious with gold what it does. So there's an uptrend that actually starts back here. Boom, boom, boom. And then I think it's going to do something like that again. And that should bring it somewhere around 2,700, I think. But it does that every time. So I think it's going to stay true, and it's going to continue to hold that uptrend as support. Or at least that'll be what it's going to try to do. And if it breaks through, I've got it measured out. 2,624 would be the next drop. Then it could come to 25, 26, which seems to be the money shot. But we'll see. We'll see. I don't expect it to break down, though. I really, really don't. Especially with the 50 basis. I mean, it needed to clear out. And now it's going to be... If it has this rest of this drop, which it looks like a nice bear flag, I think it would drop. And then if it holds that uptrend, all baby. So yeah, I've been paying attention to this pattern for a very long time. All of this a very long time. So now that we've talked about Bitcoin and XRP, let's do this the opposite way. No. Let's do the Bitcoin. Yeah, we should do the Bitcoin heat liquidation map. And we'll do it from the shortest 12 hours out. And then we'll start doing it by a week out at a time. And then we'll get into XRP and we'll know more about where we want to go. We'll look at the ratios as well. I buy all the silver I can get as long as it's above 75%. Yes, I always told my audience 80-to-1 ratio you buy silver. I'll be honest, I haven't bought any silver in 2024 since it spiked, or gold in 2024. So 24 has been like the hiatus year. But I put more money into mining stocks. And then I ended up building it up to I didn't think it was possible this year to do it, but I built it was 3,500, then another 2,000 I put in from crypto. So I built 5,500 up and over 17,000 right now is my mining stocks. So I'm looking at it, and if I can do this right on the next one, I can take that 17,000, and I'm looking at 8 to 10x's ultimately on these mining stocks. So I'm looking at 6 figures if and when it runs its course, which it will. It will. But the closer I can get, I might not need the 10x. If I can get it up to 20 grand, which I'm close to, I only need a 5x. So then it doesn't need to move up as much. And that's been done through buying and selling. But anyhow, that's neither here nor there. So in the 12-hour, we got some obvious liquidity zones if it were to come up for the election. But it's not anything of substance. I mean, you got 100 million up here. What's the big zone here? 107 million, around 70,000. 68,400, you've got about 68 million. There's nothing, 115 million. Ooh. Now that's what I'm talking about. Where's this at? 114 million at 68,200. Probably going to hit that before. I could see us sweeping all of those higher liquidities, but remember, let's go into the... Oh, shoot, I did the daily. I want to do the weekly. Just so we can start breaking this up a little bit. How many people are in here trying to get some of this information? 78 people in here. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I really appreciate that. 70 likes. We're doing fantastic. I think the right amount of people are here, and the people that want to be, or that are destined to get the information that they're desiring, they're here at a time when they understand that this is where the real information comes. So below at 66,600, there's 368 million. So that's a big liquidity zone down about 1,300 points. There's 415 million around 72,000. So if you're talking about a presidential, the race, if we get a pump up, you got 340 million around 70,800. So you've got some upward liquidity here if you come up higher. 435 at 73,800. Another 232 million around 75K. So that is some liquidity zones there. That's fine. In the 2 weekly, and this will open it up a little bit. In the 2 weekly, underneath us in the short term, and you can see this liquidity that's building up. Right here at 66,000, what is it? 66,000. And I love looking at it like this. 66,600, there's 739 million. 639 million. Or 739 million. So that's a lot of liquidity there. And then where it really gets me is if you take this into the monthly, how much liquidity sits just below that as well for liquidation in the leverage contracts. It's unbelievable. Because if you look at it in this perspective over the monthly, you got 454 million at 71,850. Over the top, you got 473 at 73K. How many, by the way, if you're watching this right now, if you're one of the 85 people, how many of you like looking at these heat signature maps? How many of you like to know the liquidity zones? And how many of you like to go through the XRP liquidation levels, the open interest, the longs versus shorts, you know, and the current shorts and that kind of thing, the ratio, so that you can get a better understanding? Because to me, this is everything. I can trade so much easier knowing all of this. So if it comes up, we're looking at 452 points. And I believe this is a big part of what I was missing in my lives and my updates as a whole. I think this is something I've missed. And like I said, I felt like I was falling short. And I think this is one of the reasons, because this was out there. I wasn't doing it the proper. I was doing it, but I think we can always improve and evolve ourselves in the right way. Love the heat maps and liquidation levels. Excellent ring thing. Bitcoin just went over 68. Yeah, there's some liquidation. That's why we're talking about the 72,000 zone for the election if it takes the up route. We're trying to get a better understanding of where it can go as long as it holds that megaphone pattern. We've got a lot of upward potential. So I'm trying to see, you know, what it can sweep if it came down. And then to me, the most obvious zones for the upward liquidity zones. So we can see right up here, just 3,000 points up, 3,700 points up. There's 446 million. Up here, there's about 500 million when you get to 73.5. Even up here, there's another 365. It's a little bit more than that. 390 million at about 74,500. Now, here's what we have to not forget. You see this right here? I know that there's the liquidity above, but for a 3,500 point drop from here, there's 1.18 billion in liquidity. I'm so hard pressed to say they're just not going to get it. True, I get on everybody's nerves explaining on how I decided to make. Oh, I know, true. I trust me, and I understand probably more than most all that you have to go through, because I do the same thing, true. I do the same thing. JW says the more information, the better. I completely agree. So, knowing that there's all this liquidation, I start to sweep out an area. Like, this has already been swapped for all intents and purposes. So if it goes higher to 72, there's more liquidation. Even higher, there's a little more liquidation. So there's still a lot of money. But if we want to go into discovery and do this right, we're going to have to take out that 1.2 billion. There it is at 64.65, 64,650. For anybody who trades, do you understand why it's so important to take out that leveraged liquidity to help us push into discovery and end up hitting these higher targets? And why it would make perfect sense for it to come down here. Now with the election, it might not allow us to fall all at once, and then we might have to take the up to down to back up to the back. You know, it might be one of those cases. So that's why the election really, really, you know, speaks volumes. Now, if we want to look at all the other stuff with Bitcoin and all that stuff, it's one thing. We also have an RSI heat map that I think is pretty interesting, but it's on all of crypto. So I don't really want to go through that, but I like the liquidation heat map. I think it fits what we're doing. And I think it really does help add a different layer here as well. And then with XRP, let's start with the open interest today. Let's refresh this just to make sure. And right now, XRP's open interest, we've got about 513.2 million. Perpetuals is commanding 511 million. And the futures is commanding 2.2 million. So your leverage trades. The perpetual is just your open market. Down 1.82% in totality from 24 hours ago. Or in the last 24 hours, the open interest is down 1.82%. The open interest share is 1.18%. 1.25% in perpetuals, and then only 0.09% in futures. So, I mean, You can see 247.4. We've seen these numbers decline the last couple days. And Bybit, 203 in Binance, and this is in millions, 43.6 million in OKX, 7 million in BitMEX, 4.3 million in Kraken, 3.7 million in BitFinex, 3.5 million in Huobi, and 707.5K in WooX. The funding rate for XRP right now is mostly positive, except for OKX. We've got liquidations, and these are my favorite. The liquidations right now, in the last 24 hours, we've had 1.5 million liquidated out of XRP. 1.5 million in the perpetual market. So long liquidations in the 24-hour market, 1.2 million were longs. 311,000 were shorts. So it's starting to kind of sway a little bit. Yesterday it was mostly longs. There was only like 35,000 in shorts. So it's definitely going up a little bit, longs versus shorts, or at least the short ratio is starting to come up with the liquidations. And then when it comes to longs versus shorts, this is getting a little bit out of whack here now. And this is where we have to pay attention if you're taking out a leverage long. Just pay attention to these numbers. The house doesn't generally like to lose. And on the 5-minute and so on the 5 and the 1 hour, it's 2.58 to 1, and 72.03% are taking out longs compared to only 27.97% in shorts. And the 30-minute, 2.57 to 1, 72% long, 28% short. And the 4-hourly, 2.55 longs the short ratio, 71.85% are going long, 28.15% are going short. And in the daily, 2.6 to 1 longs versus shorts, 72.24% are going long, 27.76% are going short. So it's interesting when I start to delve into the numbers. And this is not a bullish candle here. As much as we want to say this could be a bullish candle right here, that is not. We did not print higher. That's actually a bearish candle here. It did not reprint the candle before. It may not have gone lower, but it never came back up to reach a new high. So we've still got to make up for it. So that is not the epitome of a bullish candle. Now, it didn't make a new low. So we'll see. I mean, if you want my overall understanding of what I'm seeing in my state of Michigan, well, where I live in Oakland County, you're not going to get our help. All of my neighbors next to us, 4 houses, and I'm only on a small road here because it goes into the subdivision. I have like a court, or I'm on Avenue, so I've got only I don't know, like 7 or 8 houses leading down this road. It's almost like you're in the country when you turn down my road. And then it goes into the normal subdivision. But 4 out of the 7 or 8 houses all have the Harris signs out. None of them have Trump. But I don't like to put a political affiliation in front of my house, because then you end up being an enemy to somebody. It doesn't matter. But like, I'm okay. Like, I don't look at the candidate, so I just look at policy. So I'm okay. You know, I don't worry about all of that. I just look at the policy in front of me. And then I know one way or the other, if Harris is in there, we're going to get very wealthy on our precious metals. Like, there is no, from a standpoint of greed, because my single biggest holdings are my precious metals. And then if you look at my mining stocks when I'm in them, but the precious metals alone, that's going to skyrocket if she's in there. It has no choice. From a greed standpoint, that would probably be my easiest way to riches. Now, the betting market, which is weird, because never in my lifetime did I think you were just going to be able to go on like a Robinhood and bet, you know, on political things and things like that. They got things for Trump versus, I mean, the whole world is on it's weird now. That's why I've turned my blind eye to the hate, and even I was guilty of it. You know, doing some things that maybe I shouldn't have, maybe pushing in a direction that I shouldn't have. And that's why I said I'm tired of all the hate, and I'm going from a standpoint of love. And that's all you're going to hear emulate through me. I'm going to be a positive, a voice of love, and we're going to help push out all of the darkness. That's it. And you do need the darkness to bring it all together, because without the darkness, how do you really know the true light? The darkness, or the light that is in front of you, could be a deception, and it's really part of the darkness. You only know if you see the true light, and you'll know. You will know. So the contracts on Binance, we've got margin at 52.12, open interest at 266 Oh, we already read all of this. Oh, the volume in the last 24 hours is only 34,000. Wow. Anyhow, that's just some of the other exchanges. I get fascinated reading through some of this stuff. Let's see where the fear and greed index is today. It's amazing how high it still is. It's amazing that it's still at 70 right now. That's too high. It's too high. We're waiting for it to have a big drop to fear. It's way too high. The fact that so many people are becoming even greedier with how it's looking right now, it means that I don't know. I think a lot of people are going to get blindsided. So I want to read this and then we'll go take another look at the charts. Ripple CEO says SEC lost battle on crypto amid third company filing for XRP ETF. I'm going to say this once. I say it one time during my lives. Make sure you get it right with the exchanges before we have a drop or before we have an outbreak, like a big breakout when you would want to buy. I'm just saying, get this right now. All you have to do is go to my homepage, click on BITUNIX. We talked about BITUNIX. That's where I'm going to be trading Algo, IOTA, IOTX, and a couple others. But those are the big boys on there. And if you've been a fan of IOTA like me, and you've been not able to buy it like I haven't been for a long time, make sure you're on BITUNIX so that you're on IOTA. We're going to get the best prices known to man here. So it's all been well worth it. All well worth the wait. If you want to copy trade, you can certainly do that. I've tested it out with a $5 loss trade, and it is phenomenal. Phenomenal. That's all I'm going to say. It's phenomenal. Everything does exactly what it says, and that leaves nothing for me to even imagine. So I can trade freely, and I'm going to act like nobody's following me. I'm just going to do my normal trades. I'm going to forget I'm doing copy trading, to be honest. I'm just going to trade. So, HOTCOIN, I want to buy VELO. I want SHX, AMP. There's a few others, but there's a big purpose for it, HOTCOIN, and get it situated now. Like, get it situated now. You can leverage and spot on both. BITUNIX is the lowest spot and leverage trading fees I've ever seen, especially leverage. Spot is very comparable on HOTCOIN, but their leverage fees are non-existent. It cost me, it's non-existent. They're so low. So just make sure you get it right now. You get it right now and just have it set up, because the worst thing we can do is not have our accounts ready. And then the time's there and we miss it. Priz, welcome in. Wow. Thank you for tuning in. Seriously. I see a lot of people in here and I love it. I mean, not like crazy, but I mean, a lot of people that I respect are in here right now, and that means everything. And thank you for being in Tom's Army for your first month with the emoji badge of me being abducted by aliens. I greatly appreciate that. But yeah, this is a crypto stream, so I don't like to talk about the politics. So that's why I don't. Plus, Ripple CEO says SEC lost battle on crypto amid third company filing for XRP ETF. So, and suddenly there's 21 shares has filed for a spot XRP exchange-traded fund ETF following the applications of Bitwise and Canary earlier. The fund named 21 Shares Core XRP Trust would be listed on CBOE, offering indirect exposure to the 7th largest cryptocurrency. We already read through this before. But the Core XRP Trust aims to offer indirect exposure to XRP with shares to be listed on CBOE BZX. But what I wanted to read was what Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said. So Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse called out the SEC's approach to crypto, saying the regulator had taken loss after loss, continuing to damage its own image. The SEC's war on crypto has lost battle after battle. Their continued disregard for the court's authority will further erode the SEC's credibility and reputation. Some analysts have argued that no other crypto ETF will be approved for a while. If Donald Trump loses the election, Trump had promised to sack SEC Chief Gary. I'm going to have to stop you right here, everybody. And I like Trump as a businessman. He's taught me a lot. Let's just put it that way. He taught me a lot. If you take politics out of it, I learned a lot of things with just a lot going into business. And if you understand business, you understand what you could learn from Trump outside of politics. This is well before politics. But let's be honest here. Trump has promised to sack Gary Gensler. Do I have any faith in that? No. And I'm going to tell you one reason why. It was his former SEC. We all know what happened. The former person in charge filed the case against Ripple, was on Trump's watch, and then he left out the back door and went to work for a competitor. And then Trump was out of the White House. So that was actually on his watch. So I do believe he would sack him, but do I think... I think we need to read a little bit deeper into what the hell is really going on here. And it's like I said, there's a big cahoots here with Ripple and the government. So you don't want to bet against the government. They're going to try to tell you every reason why you shouldn't have XRP. They're going to tell you every reason why you shouldn't own it, or every reason why it's a pile of horse garbage. But remember, the fact they release $1 billion per month and lock up $800 million, that's a way to keep the price stable, folks. I've been saying this for years. If they dump all of it on us at once, do you want to have a scenario like with Doge, where they had 140 billion or whatever, and the price was sitting zeros, and they poured it on in a heartbeat? The difference between that is we're putting it in month by month. So what's the difference if XRP has 99.9 billion in existence compared to, Doge's 120 plus billion? But they all have it in existence now. There's not many more that can be put into existence, as to where XRP's is being put in a tactic that releases it on the market to where it keeps more of a stable price. I mean, there's the understanding that can come with Ripple. It's immense. The problem is I don't believe we do it from a standpoint of, if somebody doesn't believe in what we're saying, we just get so mad and angry. So I'm trying to do it in a way where I'm doing it unbiased. And I try to bring it all to the table now. I try to bring it all to the table and try to get through it all in an hour, which is impossible, but I think we do a very good job. At least the last 4 days. Before that, for a couple months, I think I did a terrible job. And I could tell by the way people were starting to talk to each other. We're doing this love. We're very loving, and we can do this. Ripple released its third quarter report over the weekend. When are we buying? Soon. Which was heavily focused on the lawsuit. The report states that XRP status as not a security remains the law of the land. And it's very important to understand that, because they are not appealing the fact that XRP was ruled not a security. That is not for debate. There was actually an amendment put in, or they put an extension in there to where they can't even touch that. So it's all about if they can get a little bit more money. That's it. So the report also highlights that due to the court's decision, the only two cryptocurrencies with legal clarity are XRP and Bitcoin. And that since the ruling, every U.S. exchange that delisted XRP has relisted it. With the court's decision in the Securities and Exchange Commission's case against Ripple affirming that XRP is not in and of itself a security, XRP and Bitcoin are still the only two tokens with regulatory clarity in the U.S. Ripple had been ordered to pay US $125 million, AU $189.7 million for historic unregistered sales of XRP significantly less than the $2 billion, AU $3 billion, sought by the SEC with no findings of fraud or financial harm. In response to the Securities and Exchange Commission's appeal of ruling that certain XRP distributions were securities, Ripple has escrowed the required funds and is preparing for a cross appeal, the report added. Considering that the parties are appealing the court's order, Ripple placed $125 million allocated for remedies in an escrow account. The price of XRP has not responded well to the recent developments, dropping 2.7% over the past week, despite the reassuring news about the ETFs. What's T doing, Julie? What, already? He didn't even make it to 7? Was he happy to get his feeding? So he was really waiting. Thank you. Yeah, you can make one if you want. Yes, you do. I have faith in you, Julie. The price of XRP has not responded well to the recent development, dropping 2.7% over the past week, despite the reassuring news about the ETFs. So, man, that was a lot of information here. A lot of information going through there. So where do I stand right now before I leave? We've been here 49 minutes. Wow, 104 people in here now. That is great. 101 likes as well. Look how beautiful the audience is, Julie. 104 likes. 104 people watching and 101 likes. Julie said thank you very much. Give yourself a round of applause. You are the casino, the house, the bank president. If you play it out just right, opportunities abound of a lifetime, regardless of who is president. This should have said. Absolutely. I agree with that. Papa says, I heard that XRP is being... I need to read what the rest of that says. So what's my opinion here? My opinion is if XRP, and I talked about this morning, and this morning it failed to do it. So it becomes less and less likely the more it rejects, but it's not over yet. If XRP can get back over this 51 point, let's call it 51.25, and then you ultimately can work up to this 52 point, and in real time, 52.7 cents. You break that, you open up the door a little bit. You open up the door a little bit. And where you would open up the door here is you'd open it up to about 58.8 cents would be where it would be targeting. And could that happen in this election cycle? Maybe. But if it does, understand if we take the up route, especially with Bitcoin, from a trajectory standpoint, Bitcoin would have that 1.2 billion that right now is less than $3,000 away from grasping. It's like it's about $3,100. It's only 3,100 point drop right now. So it's basically within 5.6% right now of hitting that liquidity of 1.2 billion. Now, if it goes up to 74K, it's still at some point going to have to come grab this liquidity. So if you're looking for a push to 115K and we don't get that 1.2 billion there, I mean, you're not going to have enough steam to break through all of it. They're not going to let those leverage trades sit out for that long without tapping them and let them make that much money. There's so much money sitting there that it would seem unethical for Bitcoin's own practices to let that sit there untouched. So I was trying to find a way to make it so clear to not just myself, but everybody else, where all these liquidation zones, and it's so hard to share that information. But once I started looking into the heat liquidation maps and started to understand them more, and it took a little bit of time for me to really understand what I was looking at, because you can do it in the 3-day, and you'll get an accumulation of 3 days worth of traders and where it's all sitting. But if you start taking it into the monthly, after you've looked at the day and the 3 and the week and the 2 week, now you bring it out in the month, and you can see you're more likely to reach these liquidation zones in the short term than you are if you're 2, 3, 4 years down the road. So, ooh, that looks nice. Yeah, you did a great job. So we're going to relax with Julie while we're together.
Because I did it.
Because Julie made the relaxation. I need a lighter, Julie, and then... Do we still have that? Yes, we do, right here. The candle. I should have one in my jacket, my North Face, Julie. Tom's got a celebration of life tomorrow. Party people, stay blessed. So, oh, yeah. JW, happy birthday to you, my friend. It was over the weekend. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear JW. Happy birthday to you. Excellent. Yes, and many more indeed. That is awesome. But I love it. I love it. I love this audience so much. But yeah, I mean, it is like a casino. And if you play the casino right, you can do very well. I do love the casino. I haven't been there in a little bit. Have we, Julie?
Nope.
Since your birthday? I took Julie there for my her birthday. I never get to go anywhere for my birthday.
Your birthday's around Christmas.
My birthday happens to be December 17th, so as she always says, you are screwed. Oh, my grandpa's birthday. My grandpa's birthday, we did his... Oh, yeah, his birthday is on Tuesday, yes.
No.
Oh, no, Felicia's is on Tuesday, I'm sorry. My grandpa's is on the...
Thursday.
7th? Yeah, my grandpa's is on the 7th. My cousin's is on the 5th. I think I said it backwards when I told everybody before, but we did a birthday party for him over the weekend, a surprise party at my aunt's house, and there was 90 people there for his 90th birthday. So look at me, I can't even get things right in my own audience, Julie. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we leave, and I know Julie's going to want to listen to this in person. After this, I'm going to go because, you know, me and Julie, we got to go. But ladies and gentlemen, yeah, I said the 5th on accident. That's my cousin Felicia's birthday. His is actually the 7th. Whoops, my bad. 90 years and I can't get it right. But ladies and gentlemen, when the markets are crazy, when they're very volatile, and we're not exactly where we want to go, we've been doing this since 2021. Our old friend comes out. Ladies and gentlemen, the sunny days are here again. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. Oh, sunny days. Oh, what a day. I wear glasses 'cause I can't see. a motherfucking thing. Happy days, oh happy days, oh what a day, oh happy days, oh what a day. XRP will reign supreme. Let's just not get caught in the FUD. Oh, we're gonna crash and we did and we will and we may and we won't and we will and we did. Oh yeah. Stay true. Stay blessed. Don't get screwed over. Nope, we're not going there. He is smoking some kind of cigar, it appears. You think that's funny, Julie? Look if we give him some shoes. His eye's a little messed up today, but...
Yeah, but this does not look appropriate.
I don't know what's going on
That
anymore.
doesn't look appropriate.
Why? He's not... It's not a penis, Julie. Is that what it looks like?
It's something.
Oh, I guess I could see that. Hey, my tunes are getting better, see?
Your pictures are getting nice.
I think my pictures are getting better, too. Well, you can't see them. What do you expect? Exactly. Exactly.
What do you say?
Somebody said something. He said, well, you can't see a motherfucking thing. What do you expect? And then I'll play you out on this. I did this one time. I said it not X-rated, or did it not X-rated. But I didn't. I said this without swearing one time, and somebody turned me into a world-famous singer. So I'll leave it with this. Stay blessed, everybody. And please consider joining Tom's Army or donating to the channel. YouTube Super Chat or Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal. No donations tonight, but I'll win you over one of these days. Sunny days. Sunny days. Here again. Sunny days. Here again. Sunny days. They said X-rated sunny day. Sunny days. Here again. I wear glasses 'cause we'll do the Trump. So cool. I can predict the charts. We'll do the Harris, but then I'd have to show my lizards. Oh. Did that come out? The cool thing is I'll have new glasses soon as we leave on the Indian music.